How many hours of sleep do you get a night?
Probably like 6 or 5 hours.
And how many hours of homework do you do a night?
I think I have around, I think 4 hours, it's a good estimate. Or 5 hours, I don't know.
Do you ever come to school feeling tired or sleep in class?
A lot of time I come to school tired, and then I normally just like sleep in some of the classes.
At Saratoga High School, many students focus directly on maintaining high grades and are overtaken by academics. This pressure directly impacts how much sleep a student gets each night. We talked to Dr. Galley to understand what sleep deprivation is.
Sleep deprivation is lack of sleep, simply putting it. And we're very dependent on our cell phones, just like if you don't charge your cell phone, you can't use it. And I think I like to see the brain in a similar way, that if you don't rest it enough, you're not going to be able to use it effectively and benefit from all the intellectual abilities that you have.
An alarmingly large number of students at Saratoga High School reported that they were getting about 6 hours of sleep, knowing that they needed at least 8. We spoke to Cassie, a student support service, to see their view on students' well-being at Saratoga High School.
Students staying up too late to study, partly because there's too much work to do, but also because they're awake. They're doing other things sometimes and not getting themselves started until too late, and then it goes into the sleep time. Not having enough sleep quickly can lead to depression, to lack of concentration, to memory issues. I suggest that when I meet with someone who's struggling, who's having either trouble focusing or trouble being motivated or feeling sad or overwhelmed, that if they're not getting enough sleep, then try that first, because often that can really make things better. There's this thing called sleep debt. It kind of be okay in the beginning of the week. So people have this idea of, oh, it's okay, I only got 5 hours of sleep and I actually feel okay. But by the end of the week, it really can catch up to you and cause more and more trouble through the week.
Sleep deprivation not only affects your life, but also your learning abilities profoundly. Many Saratoga High School students believe that if they stay up late studying, it will help them get a better grade on a test rather than getting the proper amount of sleep.
Students and studying and staying up all night, and the facts say that it's not going to help, but the reality is that people believe that it's going to help, and somehow, it's also that anxiety, like if I just finish studying, then I'll be able to sleep. Because I can't sleep because I'm worried about studying. So again, if people really believed it, that the sleep was more important, then I think that it would make things better.
Not only is getting enough sleep beneficial for your education, but also for your life. Nearly 100,000 car crashes a year are caused by fatigue. Unfortunately, our generation suffers the most with sleep deprivation.
Students overbook themselves a lot after school in the afternoons, and not being able to go straight home after school or having to focus on other things before homework creates a need for a break before starting homework. So homework is started later at night, meaning they get less sleep.
On top of creating a schedule for yourself to get on a routine to sleep properly, the school has also tried to help with student stress and sleep. The Falcon Wheel has been the school's key addition to show students how much time they're spending on homework and extracurriculars. Mr. Safin, the creator of the Falcon Wheel, told us a little more on what the Falcon Wheel is and its outcome.
Yeah, so the Falcon Wheel is something that we came up with a few years back, where we put 24 hours in a wheel, and we look at how that time is spent for students. So we tell students to expect to spend a certain amount of time in class, a certain amount of time studying for those classes, and we get that number from surveying current students in their classes about how much time they spend. And then, as mentioned, we add the extracurricular hours, job, other outside activities, daily living activities, make sure students save 8 hours for sleep, and see if that all fits in the 24-hour wheel that we've created.
One of the calculus teachers, Miss Pickett, tried an experiment with her students, allowing them to turn in their homework on the day of the unit test instead of daily homework.
About 78% of the students felt that having that option available to them did reduce their stress. So we're trying to think of a system that will allow flexibility about when homework can be turned in, but also not encourage procrastination, because we know that learning how to manage your time at this age is an important thing to work on, and we don't want a policy that would encourage bad time management habits.
While the school tries to implement ways to reduce student stress, they are not the sole factor that controls how much sleep you get. That's your job.
I suggest to students all the time to try to do things in short increments. So don't view homework as a 2 to 3 hour chore, view it as a series of 20 to 30 minute activities. Some of our students, in terms of their micro time management, will set a timer and say, for the next 30 minutes, I'm just working on math. Finish that, get up, take a break, pet the dog, have a glass of water, whatever, and then go on to the next task. So in a macro sense, we want students to schedule using the Falcon Wheel. In a micro sense, we want them to make productive use of their study time and their homework completion time.
Until you start to plan out how long it will take to do your homework, work in an effective environment, and put your technology away so you can get a good 9 hours of sleep, nothing will change. These guidelines show by getting enough sleep you can be fully functioning and the best version of yourself.